Yeah, you just need to talk constantly.
Okay.
So when I say go, just never stop talking, okay?
Okay.
Until I tell you.
Okay.
Unless I have a heart attack, you don't
Okay.
need to bring me back from the afterlife to make your own decision about when to stop talking. I will trust you with that information. So long as you go through clear till midnight tonight, we're just fine.
All right.
Yeah.
That's good. 5 hours, easy peasy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've talked about DDO for longer stretches of time.
No, like I said, I've actually said that. I was like, I could kill 12 hours by myself. So.
Is that why I got dumped? Could it have been that, or is it something else? Oh, what are the odds?
Yeah. All right, everyone. Welcome back to the 13th Anniversary Livestream here on twitch.tv/DDOstream, youtube.com/Dungeons and Dragons/live, and facebook.com/DDO Unlimited. We are going clear through until midnight tonight, playing DDO, celebrating 13 years. Well, I was going to do more in-game item drops and stuff, but we had such a poor experience. I think I'm going to limit that for the rest of the evening. I will hit the other servers just to be fair, but I think the reality is we kind of just that part's just not really working out too much. So, apparently, speaking about things that don't know how to work out very well, how you doing, Lynnabel? You were saying things didn't work out because that's why you got dumped. So, how you doing?
Theoretically, I'm right now adjusting microphone settings. You guys can still hear me, probably?
Yeah, you're coming through fine on my end here.
Okay, I think I may have fixed the echo.
Yeah, the echo is just because I'm bleeding through into your mic, which is coming back.
Can you be less loud, if possible? Is that possible?
Yes, I can just whisper like this.
It's too quiet. Never mind, be loud again, be loud again.
I thought so, yeah.
Right.
So, Lynnabel, how you doing?
I'm really tired, but I'm doing great.
That seems to be going around a little bit. It's almost like we're trying to get out an expansion in the relatively near future.
Yeah, it's almost like it is 7 p.m. Also, no, I was supposed to go get dinner, and I got all the way out to my car before I realized that I would have to go get dinner and then come back in 20 minutes, and that doesn't give me enough time to eat, too. Oh, no. So it's just a disaster all around.
The whole day is a disaster. We are going to hear about it tonight. No, actually, it's been a pretty good day. We've had good stuff. We had Sev on, and he did drop Keep on the Borderlands. So we can now officially say Keep on the Borderlands when talking to our friends and fellow guildies. Yes, we are doing Keep on the Borderlands.
Does this still come through? Okay, yeah.
So what you can do on your end here is when I'm talking, you can actually mute yourself on Skype and then unclick to talk, kind of a reverse push to talk, and that'll help.
Okay. I think I may have resolved it anyway, but I will try my best to try and keep the echo down as much as possible. But yeah, hey guys, it's been a while since I've been on camera. How are you guys doing? All right, we've already got we already have one call of defector. I miss you as a man. I really do. I genuinely miss everybody in Galanda.
Yep. I know the feeling. I too have been through several servers over the years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so this is probably a dumb Twitch question. I'm pretty sure I'm watching a different stream than this stream. Maybe?
Oh, did I put you over on Samus's stream rather than DDO stream?
I believe it says we're still hosting.
I too have been through several servers. No, that can't be because people are hearing us.
Oh, okay. That's probably just me not knowing what's going on.
Yeah.
Oh, never mind. Refreshing it completely fixed the problem. But yeah, that's good. I don't know. I mean, we can talk about Keep, but that's not really my wheelhouse. I could just
can't really talk about Keep, other than say that hey, we're doing it. So
yeah, we're doing it. I can talk about items which aren't on Lamania yet.
Yeah. So what you have been doing a lot of the work on items for Sharn here in the pretty near future, and that is headed toward Lamania, I imagine, fairly soon. So what can we say about it?
From a like, there's two main axes of Sharn's itemization. One is from a flavor perspective. Sharn is very much a big city, with a gigantic amount of raw resources, and as a consequence, it being a big city, there are two major themes for the items, and one is solid gold, and the other is made of literal trash. So if you'd like to wear a garbage can, if you'd like to fire garbage at your enemies, or if you'd like to join the army, I've got you covered.
Would I? Are you kidding me?
Yeah, I had a good time putting together. I had a good time putting together some of the flavor stuff, and
There we go.
it is unbelievable that they're letting me do stupid garbage can shield.
That wasn't what we first discussed, you know.
It's called a garbage can, not a garbage can, and I'm gonna
Yeah.
hit people with the garbage can. It's gonna be a good time.
Yeah. So I heard earlier on in the stream today we're looking at really a Ravenloft size group of items, pretty much.
Yeah, some very, very similar in as far as like Ravenloft is concerned, like it is an endgame suite, and the items will be at level 15 in heroics, because we're targeting iconics as like a good jumping off point, and then like the regular epic stuff at 29. And you can expect a wide variety of different playstyles. We're targeting different broad playstyles to be, like, I guess, supported with itemization than Ravenloft did. Ravenloft really overemphasized light armor as far as melee DPS is going, and we're trying to kind of pivot that around a little bit and give some more compelling options to players who'd like to play a DPS role, but not necessarily in light or no armor. Also supporting casting, specifically damage casting, and some variants of DC casting, while not necessarily wearing robes. So better supporting Warforged or people in medium or heavy armor, such as Clerics or Favored Souls, and also people in medium armor, like Renegade Master Makers and stuff like that. So I guess just we're trying to really open up a wider variety of builds that are playable at the reaches of endgame, because while we're kind of tackling like melee DPS versus each other, gear is also a huge percentage of what is informed as actually like viable in endgame, and so we're really just trying to broaden that out, and hopefully that if you're playing through Sharn on heroics, or if you're getting to epics for the first time and you want to play an endgame, Sharn has something for everyone, and it's probably either going to be out of gold or trash. So if you like garbage.
So what do you mean that it's made out of little...
Like literal garbage, as in one of the rune arms shoots flaming trash at your enemies, as in it's called the garbage fire, and if you'd like to hit your foes with burning garbage, Sharn has got you covered.
We should note that I don't know that this is going to be in the X pack or not. It may be pulled before. I don't know about that one.
If I have to make this myself, if I have to learn how to do art and figure out how to export to DDO, I'm gonna figure it out. You can't stop me. No one can stop me.
But so understand, besides the standard itemization, we've got some filigree coming. Is that right?
Yeah, you can expect a gigantic increase in the, like, if Sharn is going to have a lot of filigree in it, we're planning a relatively significant expansion to the sentient system as we continue to support it throughout our endgame, and as a consequence, you can expect to see way more rare sets, just way more filigrees that support some of our weirder niches. For example, filigrees that interact with like smiting evil and stuff like that. There's one that's like specifically quarterstaff focused, because I'm sure that'll fix that problem. But a whole bunch of new filigree and some other stuff I don't know if I can legally talk about.
Yeah, we probably should. Although it did get mentioned.
I mean, it got leaked, but I don't know.
Yeah, we can't go into detail though. Yeah.
It would really suck if I got sued. I just really don't want that to happen. That would be really bad.
But even more so, I think it's at a state right now that if
it's
we talk too much
we're not
about
even sure if we can
mechanics,
technically perform what we're trying to do. So
maybe we should make it first, huh?
Yeah. Well, I mean, we do have working prototypes of a lot of the stuff we're trying to do. That being said, it is DDO, so it could spontaneously explode at any moment. So, just like the rest of our other systems features, generally speaking, for stuff like that, they're being worked up continuously until Lamania, and then you guys will get to play with them and give us feedback and stuff like that. And we are planning a series of Lamanias for Sharn, although we want to include a lot of itemization in the first few because itemization feedback tends to dwarf other feedback, and we knew that even if we just put really boring items in, people would still look at them instead of Tiefling, and Tiefling looks really cool. So, you know...
Yeah. Well, on top of that, this first preview was really focused on those enhancement trees, whereas we really want to probably give, I'm going to say most of a preview is going to be itemization, because there's so much to look at and things like that. So.
Yep, there certainly is. It's certainly my most ambitious of the itemization designs. Like, I've been handling itemization on DDO for a few years now. I'm really old. Oh no. But no, this is certainly my most ambitious. I'm very confident that you guys are going to like what I've put together. And as always, feel free to tell me that it's going to ruin DDO, and I'll definitely listen to your comments. But seriously, feedback on itemization specifically is very, very important to the creative process and to like the integrity of DDO as a whole. So once you get to see these things on Lamania, or even if you can't download Lamania, you can look at, we're probably going to have item transcriptions, although there are a lot of them, so maybe not, and I can't promise that Coco's going to do that, because I know he did all of Ravenloft and he almost died.
Yeah, I hear you.
Well, it's like I really enjoy listening to player feedback and stuff like that, and oftentimes if people give me feedback that's basically, hey, would you mind doing this, I'll probably just do it, because it's easier just to do it than it is to argue with you on the forums, and it's,
Nice. Yeah. All right. So,
and if I could answer some chat questions before
yes,
you pull away. So I don't want to go into too much detail about what you can expect from Sharn from like a numerical perspective, but just from a broad perspective, you can expect, at the very least, another complete set of weapons at the end game. Probably not two, and probably not literally free like Ravenloft did, because we really wanted to be sure players had eligible weapons for sentience. But you can expect another full set of weapons, and then probably an alt set, because we have the art for them. Why not? I don't know. I'm a picky. And then yes, we'll target certain weapon types for raid upgrades, and those will be a little funky. And there's going to be a crafting thing, not like really crafty thing, but like it's going to be cool. You'll see some new stuff, see some old stuff. It all kind of mixes together. My goal with Sharn was to not add another type of crafting to the game, but I don't know if I did that correctly, so I don't know.
Good luck on that. Yeah.
I'm sure it'll be great.
So before I kind of let you go here in a little bit to do some more stuff, probably on one of the game worlds, I want to talk about a more serious subject. That subject being, we finally discovered that not only is Lynnabel a Lich, but that you're bugged.
Yeah. Okay, that was all Jason. That was... So, here's the weird thing, is that this is the first time I've had a weapon named after me in DDO, and the first time I've appeared as a monster, and not only did I not make the weapon, I also did not make me. So none of that had anything to do with that. And I had a lot of people that were like sending me PMs or hitting me up on Discord. They're like, your jokes are so great. And I'm like, what? I don't know. I missed all of that. I'll pass it along, I don't know.
Let me unmute and say that again. That was the way it is with most of the dev fights. They're put together by the team rather than the person. Although they probably asked you, similar to me, like kind of in general broad terms.
Well, I wanted to be a Lich. Liches are cool. Liches get stitches or something. But no, it's a big honor. Like, I've been playing DDO for a very, very long time, and I never in a million years thought that, like I watched the 10th anniversary stream from like my apartment, like as a fan, and then now here I am. It's incredible, and I'm just incredibly thankful to be here, and I'm so happy to be able to share my creative vision and help DDO just be the best game it is. So.
You know, it only took me 2 years, but we did not have the technical problems today that we have had in other anniversary live streams.
That's true. I was expecting the studio to catch fire, just to really seal in. This week has been an excitement for the DDO team, believe me.
Oh yeah, is that because of the build breaks or whatever?
I don't know if I should talk about.
No, you shouldn't.
What happened? What I said, I'll tell. So what I said on Facebook was, ask me in 10 years, and I'm not joking. Ask me about today in 10 years.
Oh, today? I've been here.
Not
so
today, I'm sorry.
know.
Ask me about Tuesday. Really, okay. Monday afternoon into Tuesday. Ask me about that in 10 years. A decade. Put it on your calendars. It's a wild story. It's worth the wait.
Nice. So what else? Let's see. What else can we talk about here?
I ended up putting together some of Tiefling, which is probably why it's so buggy. Some other stuff for Sharn. I think Sharn looks really cool. I've put some of the Sharn dungeons and they look fantastic. I think that the greatest thing that's happened to DDO is probably us removing the beige layer, which is people saw in Lamania.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Yeah. I was actually mentioning that to us, Sev a bit, that we had beige in our beige. And
we did. It is astounding that after like 10 years of trying to remove, like, it's like our old UI was very beige themed, and then we did a relatively deep overhaul of our UI as a whole, and we moved towards like a more red and black color scheme, and that's it's the UI you see today, and that's what's kind of pulled forward. And then to our shock is there was just a whole beige layer of the game that was just made the game more beige, which is it's a very DDO thing to do. So the game looks better. The new character select is the coolest thing I've seen on the project in a very long time.
Oh, nice. I haven't seen that yet. Is that on Lamania?
Oh yeah, with the Sharn in the background, like.
Oh, the key art.
No. The character. Have you not logged into Lamania? It is immediately noticeable.
Okay.
It's insane.
Yeah, I've been too busy planning for this and other things that I haven't been able to.
I logged into Lamania and I gave some people titles, and I showed up to a dev event I wasn't invited to, and that was kind of. I don't know. I know. Some of the Inquisitive CC was working in the public area, which is like tragic, so funny. People were like dazing each other. Shame on you guys. That was bad. That was bad moves, but it's really.
Oh yeah, you should never do that.
Yeah, don't do that.
Don't drop death cubes on people. That's a terrible idea.
Only villains do that.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's cool though. So, since you are doing a lot of the itemization work, let me ask you a little bit about the Inquisitive. Presumably that's why we have the new light crossbow in the anniversary event. But how do you feel we are in terms of named light crossbows, and whether we're going to be doing some more work in that regard in the future?
So there are like 4 of them the whole game.
See, that's what I thought, but I thought maybe you were smarter than me. Yeah.
It's so bad. It's like this is a consistent long-term symptom of the DDO itemization experience, in which your choices are either you target areas of the game that players already are very familiar with and they know and love. Like, everybody wants more Kopashes, everybody wants more daggers now, you know what I mean? And if you designed, like, I don't know, a sickle, like 4 or 5 people are going to go, hey, that looks neat, and everybody else is just not going to use it. And like, DDO reconciles its like 40 distinct different types of weapons by, even though, because 3.5 base is actually all equal, because proficiency is actually doled out very, very weirdly. Basically, we say, like, hey, daggers are not that great because it's a D4, but if you're a knife fighter and an assassin, then they get really good. And there are some weapon types that just don't have that support, and light and heavy non-repeating crossbows were those 2 weapon types. And so, as a consequence, it's very hard to justify saying, like 8 years ago, like, I'm going to make a new non-repeating crossbow, and the fans would have stormed the studio and just killed you. Like, they would have invaded, and it would have been over. Mechanic gets great crossbows, and some other stuff specifically does work with non-repeating crossbows. Weirdly enough, some of it just doesn't work with non-repeating crossbows, even though it says it should. And I don't think anybody has ever noticed, because there are 4 of those in the game, period. But the good news is that Inquisitive is coming right on the heels of a very large content pack. which has a lot of room for itemization. So we're going to be able to hit, a few more light crossbows in there, later heavy crossbows, and you can expect, just like how daggers, we saw a whole bunch of daggers right after Knife Fighter launched, you can expect us to try and, sprinkle them out a little bit. And furthermore, in heroics, when you're not worrying about sentience, there are a huge variety of very open-ended weapon crouching systems, like heroic green steel. So you'll be able to, use the green steel ingredients and hit them with your min 2 or something. Your lit 3.
So
I don't know. Green works.
You probably know more about the Inquisitive than I do.
Yeah.
How do we balance the light and regular, or light and heavy crossbow to be relatively equal? Because that's one of the challenges with, I know, the mechanic tree. Mm-hmm. Why not use a heavy so you can get the knockdown?
Well, light versus heavy, the only actual difference, there isn't actually a reload speed difference, they use the exact same animations in your avatar, is a dice difference. And how we've historically balanced out, dice differences, like heavy and light, repeating crossbows, is we just haven't, and we've given up entirely. So I think our current plan is that the only way to swashbuckle with non-repeating crossbows is to use a light crossbow. So
we'll see about that. Yeah. It's still, we've been saying throughout the day, but I guess we're saying again, this is kind of early days on a lot of this stuff.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely is still time for us to do a better job of balancing it, but one of the major philosophies of working on DDO is that if you have a problem and you're at 0% and the problem solution is at 100%, it is so much better to do 85% rather than 0%. Even if you can't get all the way there, you got to do what you can. And DDO is definitely built on doing what you can in order to make the game as fun as possible. And it's all about just taking the time to make sure that as much of the game is open and as viable as possible.
Yeah. And soon we'll have some nice reasons to do light repeaters. So
I was right. It is exactly 4 light crossbows. I was correct. I knew it.
Nice.
There's Ratcatcher, and there's 3 other ones I forget the name of that were probably accidentally made. But I don't know. I have my hopes that eventually all the weapon types in DDO will have some sort of, not necessarily top of the meta thing, but oh my god, our animator just tried to break into the room.
I know. I kind of want to grab him on camera here.
We should get him. He's really good. He's come back. No.
Yeah, I think he might be gone though. I think
he ran out of the room.
Because someone asked me about that fiddle thing with.
I can talk about the fiddle thing. I don't think I can talk about the other fiddle thing with the other thing that we're talking about, because I'm not sure if that actually will work technically. But I mean, tieflings, they use a fiddle for their bardic inspiration. I don't know. I think it's pretty rad.
Sure. All right. That means we need some named fiddles in the game.
Need some named. Yeah. Where would they go? Your fiddle slot? That's ridiculous.
No, a club.
Your club. Well, we have the mad. We have a loot. We have the mad loot.
I know.
We have. I should make a bludgeoning musical instrument.
You do, because the problem with the mad loot is it's two-handed, and we need one-handed versions. Yep. I'm just saying.
That's a good idea. That's not a bad idea. We were discussing when we were first putting together designs for Tiefling, and we knew that we wanted to have them to do a different bardic inspiration because Tiefling is such a flavorful race, and we're like, now's our chance. You know what I mean? We're already getting the tail animations, so they have to redo all the animations anyway. Now is our chance. You know what I mean? And so we're like violin or fiddle. What do we do? And Rob suggested the trombone, which I feel like was the best possible.
That was a joke, but yes.
I can see it. I can definitely see it. People fighting in the foreground or something, and then you're in the background going bwomp 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 bwomp, and it seems pretty viable to me. I don't know. I suggest when we get if we ever do what the four-armed race, Thrycreen?
Yeah.
Thrycreen, yeah. I think that if we ever get around to Thrycreen, one-man bands, you heard it here first. I'm committing. The whole thing. Big drum, a tuba, You know, they got 4 arms, but they can play the whole band at once.
I like it. I like it. All
Yeah.
right. Well, I don't want to take too much of your time. You've had a long day, as you said. So has a lot of folks, because we've been pretty busy. And like I said, I wouldn't call it crunch time, because it's not the kind of, that has a negative connotation in today's world. So, and we're not crunching.
Oh,
but we are certainly busy. So,
it's like there's a different mindset. Like when you're doing design, there's a lot of time to just like think about things, and when you're actually doing implementation, and you're trying to get it underneath like public preview, because like the more you can get stuff you can get for preview, the better the feedback is going to get, and also it's like a better chance for us to catch like really insidious bugs. And that's the only point in which you're kind of worried about deadlines. But mostly I'm tired because I spent all last night watching Umbrella Academy instead of doing sleep. So
Yeah, we should talk about that offline. I've got some feelings on it.
It's a good show.
Yeah.
We're gonna get sued by Netflix.
Yeah, no, we can't. We're not talking about it. Yeah. But I really want that. Speaking of TV shows that we can't talk about, I really want that Stranger Things box set for D&D.
Yeah. The Stranger Things box set of D&D. Actually, I know. Yeah. I like Stranger Things. I appreciate that now. Media has we're slowly turning the corner, and that it's become way more socially acceptable to just hang out and play role-playing games with your friends. It's really fun, and it's such a wonderful hobby, and I'm just really happy that I can say to people doing something, and I'm like, every Monday I play in Savage Worlds, and they're like, that's really cool, and it's totally different, and even in like the 7 years I've been alive.
You are not kidding. I can't remember. I believe I didn't remember that until just now. But yeah, as a matter of fact, I had an experience underscoring that just this morning. So I went to my local gas station, and I live in a I guess you could call it a fairly rural part of Massachusetts, sort of central Massachusetts. Very kind of blue-collar sort of community. And I went to my local gas station, and the lady at the counter is probably older than me by 10, 20 years or so, and looked at my shirt and said, I like that dragon on your shirt. And I was like, thanks. And she was like, well, what is it? And I was like, well, it's for one of the games I work for, Dungeons & Dragons online. And the clerk said, oh yeah, Dungeons and Dragons, I'm gonna play that finally. And I was like, really? And apparently some person that this lady works with at the gas station got all the gas station people into D&D, and that's how they did it. They were like, yeah, like in Stranger Things and like in E.T. and all that sort of thing. We live in weird times.
That's
is what
so
I'm
cool.
saying.
Okay, I have a worse story than that. So I'm in Starbucks last summer, and I'm wearing a DDO hoodie, and I get tapped on the shoulder, and this lady behind me is like, I like your dragon, because it's like the 10th anniversary commemorative. It's got Villa on the back. Yep. And I'm like, in my head, I'm like, wait, is this a fan? Like, am I about to have my first fan interaction? And turns out she was a crazy person and thought dragons were real, and talked to me about like cloud people for like 10 minutes as I'm waiting for my drink. And I almost just like left. Like I was almost like, that frappuccino's gone. Like you write it off and you get out of there. But I'll never forget her. It is actually cool. I have gotten, because I wear my DDO hoodie around because it's really warm, and I have gotten a lot of people that are like, I play that game, I used to play the game, or I played Dungeons & Dragons, and it's really nice because it's such a wholesome hobby, and it's such a good way of, spending time with your friends, and it's, I really like pen and paper as a whole, and I'm really happy that it's become more of, a big social thing. Because it's a wonderful experience, and if you haven't gotten a chance to play pen and paper, I would highly recommend you just rope your friends into it. You just dive into it, because it's a lot of fun. It really is. And you got to do the voices too. That's my hard line. It's not a real game if you don't do character voices.
Yeah. Well. So you can always, you don't need a lot of skill to do a character voice. You can do the kind of gruff, manly video game guy.
Dude, McProtagonist,
it's
man.
It's just a little bit like Batman, but a little more sensitive.
I only have one voice, and it sounds like I want to talk to the manager at all times. It's like, is this salad gluten free? That's my one. That's all I got. I can play a character named Karen, and that's kind of it.
I love it. All right, thanks so much for stopping by, Lynnabel.
Oh yeah, let me get out of here before I accidentally break my NDAs.
Sure. Have a good day.
Yeah, have a good night, man. Do you want me to
I will take care of things on my end here. Which actually is a good point. I am going to cut the screen to the logo screen for just a minute or two while I push some buttons and get things set up.